Mike, Happy New Year, mate.
And to you.
Yeah.
Good to be back.
Yeah. You disappeared at the end of the year and had duties overseas. Tell us a little bit about that. You're away with Junior Far.
Yeah, interesting experience. Obviously, we were in camp with Deontay, so Junior has obviously been a regular over there for a number of years. So we were there in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Where Junior got some good work in. Also, while we were over there, Kevin Jusay fought in Vegas. So Junior and I met up with Eugene and Kevin, and we obviously got the victory there, which was great because Son Kanan was a very experienced guy, and Kevin looked very good indeed. So he started off his UFC career really well. And also we hit, obviously, while we were over there, we got Junior sparring in Vegas. We did a bit of a run around the Vegas gyms in preparation for Saudi. So yeah, definitely it's a long time away. It's good to get back to New Zealand. And then obviously we went over to Saudi, fought on Day of Reckoning. Junior just made a mistake. He got clipped, unfortunately. But you're fighting at the very elite level of the world, and Frank Sanchez is a guy who will feature in world title belts coming up, and he's going to create some problems for some people. So I think, given we had about a 5-week notice period for that camp, we were there or thereabouts, but at elite level you need to be more than there or thereabouts. So there's some work to do for Junior, but I would say to those people who don't know shit about boxing to just watch this space and stop making idiotic comments online about whether or not someone should retire or whatever, because you don't know shit about boxing.
That's what I like about you. We know where you stand, mate. That's cool. Yeah, can you just give us a little bit of your review of 2023? The gym and here and the fight scene in New Zealand, overall.
Yeah, for CKB, obviously it's been a roller coaster year. We've had the two Paheta fights. Extremely low in a fight we were winning more than comfortably, but Alex is, he's one of the greats, and then Izzy came back and proved he's one of the greats with the knockout of the year, and then obviously Strickland in Sydney, and you have to credit Sean for that. So that's kind of the Israel roller coaster. Kai in the UFC unfortunately got clipped in sparring. Pretty heavily, zigged when he sort of should have zagged, and you just don't take concussion lightly. And the one thing that you can't operate from and that has permanent impacts is if you risk your brain, and we know that now. So again, to those people who know shit about fighting, and I'm quite comfortable swearing at you, we risk our lives, Kai risks our lives. So if you idiots are going to critique that when you have no idea of concussion protocols, impacts and brain injury, yeah, moving on. But look, Kai had a disappointing year. Obviously he got ripped in the previous fight. The Manel Cap fight, that will sit there, that will wait. Manel's a divisive character, he's combative, so yeah, we'll see what happens there. But Kai will be back in, now that we get in the all clear for him to start to train again. And that's one of the things you have to do in our sport. You have to bear with the injuries and get the all clear to start to train again. Hooker, Hooker is what Hooker is, which is a bit of a savage. And it's a pity he didn't get the opportunity against Bobby Green. So Jalen's now taken the impetus that Hooker had. But that is the fight game, and Dan's arm's repairing, but he's been in the gym all over Christmas. Jusay's come up, doing well. obviously we've had Shane and Bloods, and they've sort of moved on from the UFC. But again, this is the nature of elite sport, and you got to dare to be great. You know, at elite level, it's mercenary, and there's always someone, you know, biting at your heels. So that's just the ups and downs of our sports. Outside of the UFC, you know, we've got a number of guys coming through. You know, Caden Skipper, Ryan Didimo, all these guys who are, you know, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, very, very young. We've got Taze 'em up, Aaron Toe, who I think is just short of being UFC ready at the moment, but he's going to be a very dangerous prospect. We got the Balkan Bear, who, you know, when he wakes up in the morning out of his hibernation, is actually pretty good. He had a bit of a rough year in terms of injury, but you know, these are the ebbs and flows of the sport. You know, Carlos is obviously he's had the Reyes fight sort of held off because he's got damage, but you have to credit him. He actually had a bone infection when he won that fight in Sydney, so that's impressive. And if you know the backstory, the mental fortitude he showed to go and dominate against a Korean who is actually very good. People don't understand how good and how deep the MMA background and foundation is in Korea and Japan in particular. They may have disappeared off the radar a little bit because we're Eurocentric, but they're very good. They're very, very good. And they've got their own unique style. So that's a big win for Carlos, given the injuries there. Tyson, again, and I'm just giving you the real rundown. Tyson's got a big fight coming up. I don't know whether that's been announced yet, so I won't reveal what it is. But you know, he had a poor beginning to the year where he got struck down by an illness prior to his fight. Fought anyway, didn't get the result he wanted, but he came back and you know, he took the batteries out of the pleasure man, and that was actually quite gratifying. So, you know, there's so much going on that you know, there's prospects left, right, and centre. You've got King in the Ring, of course, going on, and what was great from a New Zealand point of view, you saw Titus Proctor just recently at 19 years of age. You know, and you know, that's a superb victory. You know, for him to come out at that level in a field that was very good. Remember, you've got Ashia in there. Ashia is a world-class fighter. You know, and any victory that includes any sort of tournament victory that includes, you know, having to overcome Ashia is a big achievement. You know, and so that for me bodes really well. Arsenal X is coming on board with King in the Ring as well, which is going to include MMA. Shuriken is now on Fight Pass, and they're doing great work, and you know, we've seen some impressive performances there. So overall, we've got an aging group of guys. What I mean by that is guys who are 30 plus. I wouldn't say they're in the twilight of their career, but they're in the latter half perhaps of their peak. And then you've got a whole bunch of young guys coming up, sort of in that teenage years, and we won't see that come to fruition for another 5 years. But the future is bright, and we now have a template for the UFC and performance in other areas. So, you know, really exciting.